So it is now the month of December when I am recording this, and I meant to get this out a couple days ago because it was a very busy end of the year, Thanksgiving weekend and all that such. But it is time for our November 2025 Rookies Update in December. I will go through the 10 rookies leading in scoring, including 5 other goaltenders as well, and just kind of talk about how their season's been, my overall expectations, and how impressive I've been with these guys so far. So let's hop right in with number 1. And number 1 this month around is Ivan Demidov of the Montreal Canadiens. Demidov so far this year, 24 games played, 6 goals, 13 assists for 19 points. He is tied with 2 other players for the lead in scoring amongst all rookies. And Demidov, although this was a overall not so great of a month for Montreal, they had their ups and downs. I do think that Demidov's been a major positive this season. He's played alongside some pretty solid wingers and such, and has still put up a pretty solid production regardless of that. Again, 19 points in 24 games played. You got to be satisfied with the way Demidov has played, and I would say right now, it could depend on how you look at Matthew Schaefer. I would say at the end of this month, Demidov, I would put maybe either first or second in my Calder rankings. I have not made them just yet, but I'll probably post them tomorrow here on the channel. But overall, Demidov's been very satisfying and overall very good for Montreal. Now, a guy who has moved up in our rankings since we've last made our update in October. He was 8th in rookie scoring at that time. Now he is 2nd, and that is Beckett Seneca of the Anaheim Ducks. When Anaheim has a really good month, so does Beckett Seneca. 25 games played so far this season, 7 goals, 12 assists for 19 points with Anaheim so far this season. Seneca has been very fun, been very entertaining, and honestly been one of those dynamic young players on this team, and he's been a lot better than we expected. Again, I'm going to highlight this furthermore. He was drafted 3rd overall in 2024. People were shocked that he was taken at that pick in that draft, and he spent a year down in the Ontario Hockey League, and he's flourished here with Anaheim. Again, 7 goals, 19 points. He's been phenomenal in his rookie season here. And this comes with, Anaheim being a really good team as well, surrounded alongside a lot of really good players. He's not only been that, he's been very creative with the puck, good puck handling skills, and overall just honestly such a great player. So Seneca, I'm really high on here and has had a really good month this past month with the Ducks. Now, number 3, again, we do have to talk about him. It's Matthew Schaefer. 25 games played so far this year. 8 goals, 11 assists for 19 points with the New York Islanders. Again, you do need to bring up this guy. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. Again, Schaefer's been good. And you highlight what Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes, 2 of the top defensemen, were doing at 18 years old. They weren't even in the NHL when they were 18 years old. You look at a guy like Lane Hudson last year who won the Calder Trophy. He wasn't even in the NHL at 18 years old. He didn't come in until he was 20. And Schaefer, coming straight out of the OHL and putting up these numbers, is honestly very, very good. I think it gives him the edge over a guy like Demidov or Seneca, to the point where he's doing this not only at 18 years old, but as a defenseman too, and having a good defensive game as well. It's really, really impressive. It's really, really fun to watch this guy. We have a stream coming up on Thursday where we're going to live stream him once again, but he's been somebody who has been a massive component of this Islanders team and why they've been overall so successful, and he's been a lot of fun to watch. There's no doubt about that. Now, this guy wasn't even in our rankings in the month of October for the top 10. It's Artem Levshunov. He has taken a massive jump this month in December. 24 games played overall, 1 goal, his first NHL goal, 12 assists for 13 points. So this guy loves to pass the puck. He loves to move the puck, racking up the primary or secondary assists. That's what Artem Levshunov has been doing all season long here for Chicago, and this is coming off of a really good month of the Blackhawks as well. Again, you see typically when teams have really good months, their players have really good months as well, and a guy like Artem Levshunov has been awesome here to watch with the Blackhawks. And again, seeing guys like Bedard perform really well, and you wanted your top guys to really play good this season, and we saw that here out of Levshunov as a young player. And again, we always talked about how Bedard was lacking those young players alongside him. Getting guys like Sam Rinzel and, even Oliver Moore, who has played games this year. You have Nazar, obviously. Getting a guy in there like Lev Shenov, who's 4th in rookie scoring this year, even if he does only have 1 goal and the rest of those being assists, it's still something you can be very happy with, and there's still plenty of time for that to make a positive impact and for that to change here heading into the month of December. But Levshunov has been very, very good. Oliver Kapanen still finds himself in the top 5 in rookie scoring at the end of 2 months into the season. Kapanen so far this year, 24 games played, 7 goals, 6 assists for 13 points with the Canadiens. Again, Kapanen, you look at a lot of other components with Montreal and Kapanen, who has gotten a lot more time here up in the top 6 or even the middle 6 because of guys' injuries and such. He's been great. And again, I believe he's a center. I'm blanking if he actually is. I'm pretty sure he is. And Montreal needs centers. I'm not saying that Kapanen would be their solution there at the second-line center spot, but he's been good so far this year. And again, we commentated his first NHL goal early in the season, and he's been really solid. Again, I don't even really know what to say with it. He's had some great offensive production here this month with Montreal. And again, those 7 goals, you need secondary scoring, and you're getting that from somebody like Kapanen. And he feels like this year's Emil Heineman for Montreal. We saw that last year with the Canadiens, how Heineman was so good. I feel like we're seeing that this year with him. He's kind of this year's Emil Heineman, but pretty cool stuff. Again, he's been great, and you got to highlight him for sure. He's been a lot of fun. Ryan Leonard had a really good month for Washington. He ended the month of October with just 5 points. Now, through 26 games played, has 5 goals, 8 assists for 13 points. So Leonard has been on an absolute tear. Again, the beginning of the year, I was like, I don't know, because Washington started off a little bit slow. But now the Caps started to pick things up. They're starting to rack up some more wins. They're scoring a good amount of goals down these stretches as well. And you're seeing it here, with Leonard. His production's really amped up with that fact. And overall has been really entertaining here for Washington. Again, you look at Washington, they're a young core they're trying to build there. Leonard was the center of all this, it felt like. Maybe not the full center, but he is a part of that inner circle of guys. And honestly, as a rookie here, he's really improved in November. We'll see how December goes, but Leonard's been great to watch, no doubt about that. Number 7 is Arseny Griciuk. He is still keeping up his overall production since he made his debut last month. He has 25 games played, 6 goals, 6 assists for 12 points this year. Again, Griciuk has been good for New Jersey. He had 6 points last month, 6 points this month. You're seeing consistency, and you like to see that for sure. I think Griciuk's been a lot of fun to watch. And again, New Jersey with the injuries of Jack Hughes, I think Griciuk's gotten a lot more time. And honestly, just watching the games, he's been really solid. He's noticeable out there on the ice. He's got that good tenacity to him. You can tell that he does look like an experienced veteran in some of the games that you watch, but he still is making those rookie mistakes. But honestly, Griciuk, I probably would say, and this shouldn't come as a surprise, he's probably the most experienced out of all these rookies in terms of just overall playing pro hockey. And he's been awesome here, and you really see it. And I'm hoping that will continue. Maybe he doesn't have that offensive star power, but still a good rookie nonetheless. Zeev Boyum then was 3rd in scoring last month, and this month he's dropped down a little bit, but Minnesota has gone up, so I guess we'll take the silver lining there. 26 games played, 3 goals, 9 assists for 12 points. I still think Boyum, despite this, has been good. I don't think points should determine how a defenseman's been. He still had that good side to his game, just the offense has kind of cracked down here a little bit in this last month. And I don't really blame Boyum for that, to be honest with you. I think that comes with, sometimes you struggle to keep the consistency going unless you're really, truly a star. I'm not saying Boyum's not a star. But again, you do have bad months, and it happens. And I think that even this month wasn't even that bad month for Minnesota as a whole. They were still very, very good. And he's not the only Minnesota goaltender we're going to talk about, or Minnesota player we're going to talk about here. I just spoiled it. But regardless, Boyum still been good so far. I think I don't really have any disappointments there to be said. He's been solid. Same thing can be said for Emmett Finney. Honestly, he hasn't been what he was in the first month. He had 8 points last month, only has had 4 this month, and now in 26 games played, 5 goals, 7 assists for 12 points. He's still noticeable out there. He's still, creating plays. He's just not getting the point production that you saw at the beginning. And I feel like that's fine. It happens. You're not going to be fully consistent over an entire span of a season. You're going to have rough months, rough games, rough stretches. It happens. And for a guy like Finney, I think that, falling down to 9 doesn't determine how really good this guy is. Again, he was a 7th round draft pick. The fact that he's top 10 in rookie scoring 2 years later is pretty impressive. So I give Finney a lot of credit where it's due. He's been great. And Detroit has been overall good. There's been ups and downs, but I feel like their really good start could get them over the hump. But honestly, December is historically a really bad month for Detroit, so we'll see how it goes here in this month. And then number 10 then is Matthew Wood of the Nashville Predators, actually. There was not a lot of positives in Nashville. Matthew Wood has been one of those bleak positives. 18 games played, 7 goals, 4 assists, 11 points. A hat trick does help with that as well, but again, you always see typically the top 5 will stay the way it is, but the bottom 5 will always fluctuate around, and he's the only new player besides Artem Levshunov that makes this list. And yeah, he's been good. Again, not a lot of positives for the Nashville Predators. We commentated his first NHL goal. He scored a hat trick against the, I think it was the Rangers, probably in New York. And regardless of that, he's been very good so far for the Predators. I think you got to give him some credit. Again, there hasn't been a lot of positives there, and he's been one. And then, last but not least, we're going to put all of these goaltenders into one segment. It is the goalie list here, all the goalies that have been leading so far. We did it by games played, so these stats don't exactly match up, but regardless, let's hop right in here with Yaroslav Askarov. 9-6-1, a 2.96, and a .910. So I remember in the month of October, I'm going to see if I have Askarov's stats here. I don't even have his stats from last month, just looking at the month of October. But he started off October really rough. And the Sharks, as a whole, were really rough. But then Askarov starts finding his game, starts playing some really good hockey, and suddenly San Jose is back up and playing really damn good. Since that October 30th game that we streamed on the channel back a month ago now at this point, since that game, Askarov's been lights out. Again, a 9-10. You look at his numbers in October, they were not so good, but then you look at his numbers in November, I don't think he had a save percentage lower than a 9-10. Yeah, I don't think so. I might be wrong because there were a couple more games played since I made that short. But regardless, Askarov's been great for San Jose. Another guy, Jakub Dobeš, he's cooled down. His numbers are not as good as they were. 8-3-2, a 3.22, and a .888. It's funny because both the games where he just absolutely crapped the bed, I don't even know if he was in net for Colorado, but both the games that he crapped the bed, I was live streaming. The Washington game and the Dallas game were just two not great games. And again, the Canadiens, a big factor in why they haven't been that great is they were allowing a lot of goals in the month of November. And I feel like I said it, I think, in a TikTok. I was like, I don't think they have a goalie problem. I just think this is a rough month. I think if there's any problem, it lies with Sam Montembeault, not Jakub Dobeš. I think it was just a rough month after a really good one. I think Dobeš will overall be somewhere in the middle. That's what I think. Number 3 then, Jesper Wallstedt. Again, this is ranked by games played. He should be number 1. But 7-0-2 to start this year. A 1.93 goals against average and a .938. Jesper Wallstedt has arrived. And again, we talked about so much about how, Wallstedt, I don't know if he's going to be what he was. And some people were calling this guy a bust in the offseason because, again, it's the offseason. We're all crazy. But he's been good. He's been really, really good. I would even say he's been fantastic. A big reason and why Minnesota had that really bad start and then they bounced right back is because of Wallstedt. It's a massive factor. And again, I think for the Wild, I know these numbers probably won't stay the way they are. I would not be shocked in the slightest if they go into December and if Wallstedt just does not perform the way he has been in this month. Because that's how goalies are. They're very streaky, especially at this age. And you saw Dobeš, he had a really rough month. I wouldn't be shocked if Wallstead has a rough month. Not saying that I think that will happen, but I wouldn't be terribly shocked, and that's fine. That's fine. It happens. Colton Ellis then is at number 4. Ellis is a Buffalo Sabres goaltender. You guys may not know him, but he's 4-2, a 3.13 goals against and a .893 save percentage. Ellis has been good. Again, a fun goalie to watch. We commentated him in a game a couple of weeks ago, but he's winning games for Buffalo. His numbers may not be that great, but at least he's winning these games for the Sabres for sure. And then Artur Shilov's 4-4-4, a 3.0 goals against average and a .898 save percentage. Again, Shilov's, I think his numbers have decreased since that really good month of October, as expected, but I do think he's still a good goaltender, Calder Cup champion, and we'll see what happens there for sure. But those are your goalies right now who are playing the best. I do want to give shout-outs to, obviously, guys like Sergei Murashov, Thomas Milik, who was an ECHL goalie who I covered. He made his NHL debut this past week, so it was pretty cool to see that as well. But regardless, those are your goaltenders. And with that being said, that is your rookies update for November of 2025 in the month of December. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching. I'm sorry I couldn't get this video out on the 30th or the 29th. I have been away all this weekend, so that's why there was no live streams either. So I do apologize for that, but we'll be back getting out the power rankings and this video as well for the month of November and all that good stuff. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.